Welcome to TV Asia Teen Talks. Today's our guest is Advait Vigala. He is a cricket analyst.
This season is awaited by many fans of the IPL. As we all know, this year's IPL is in the UAE due to the circumstances going around in the world and the ongoing pandemic. And we all should stay home, stay safe. And now we'll be dealing with many topics like player analysis, team analysis, and greatest rivalries. We'll also be doing with different topics after the IPL, which is the international series is going on, international cricket in general. Like the next year upcoming T20 World Cup. And after the IPL, we have the Australian-India tour. That's the first Indian national series coming up after the pandemic.
Hi Advait, how are you?
I'm good.
So, cricket analyst, how it sounds.
Well, it's actually a big thing now because me being born in US, you would never expect a US born to be a cricket analyst because after moving to India, you can see how much India makes a difference in a American born boy.
So, you born and brought up here in New Jersey and now you moved to Hyderabad. And how it started, like cricket interest, how it started and who's your inspiration?
Well, I moved in 2014. I was 9 years old and first started with the 2015 Cricket World Cup. I was in India for like 9 months by then, and I knew about cricket here and there. I just didn't focus on it. But ever since the World Cup came, then I started getting interested. And then I recognized Virat Kohli and Dhoni. I'm like, oh, the Boost ad people. They were because when I used to live here, they used to come on the Boost ad a lot. And then I used to see the players, and then I saw the whole tournament on TV. And then my dad went to Australia, and he went there live and watched the matches. He bought some merchandise, some teacups from the ICC World Cup 2015 in Australia, because he itself has some business there, right? So he got that, and I got more influence to get into cricket and focus into cricket. But then it was just an interest in part. And then by then, after seeing the World Cup, my favorite cricketer was Shikhar Dhawan, obviously. And after that, the IPL came that same year. And then I found out Shikhar Dhawan was in Hyderabad, like where I was, and I support Hyderabad obviously till the end, all the time. So when Shikhar Dhawan was in Hyderabad, I'm like, oh, that's great, my favorite player and my favorite team. Since then, I've been following cricket regularly here and there, mostly the IPL, and then international cricket I've been on and off. But then the interest always has been increased, and my knowledge has been increasing in cricket. And then later I thought, why not start analysis? I found the opportunity that I have the scope in cricket in 2019, the other World Cup in England, hosted in England. So I was called upon in India ahead for an interview for the Cricket World Cup. We were talking about the players and then how they were injured in India, their scope in the World Cup. So that's when I realized I had potential to analyze cricket and to focus upon the topic. So first, when I realized I had a scope in cricket is when I've been invited to the national media in 2019 for the Cricket World Cup when India played in England. And I was interviewed to be asked about the players' scope and then recent injuries which happened because during that time we had a lot of players injured in the Indian team. So I was asked about that. That's when I realized I had a scope in cricket because I'm able to analyze the questions. I'm able to understand the questions the host is asking. I'm able to give a proper answer. So from then onwards, I thought I'll look cricket analysis. And last year for the IPL 2020, I started my own YouTube channel called Advait the Fourth Empire. And I've been uploading 2 videos per week and I've got very good response. And I've scored over 200,000 views after the season has been finished. And I've been uploading many more videos. And I've interviewed on the local news in Hyderabad and I've been interviewing people there. So I've been interviewing people from Hyderabad and people in US, and especially in US. I've been asking about why cricket in US hasn't been faring well because of other sports like basketball, soccer, football, like that. And then recently I've been doing more research in Test cricket more often because before I was never fond of Test cricket because it was too long. But I realized that it's the main sport of cricket. It's the main genre of cricket, Test cricket, because it's a classic form because it's 5 days. Anyone can win the game at any point. So yeah, that's how my journey has progressed through.
Wow. I can see the interest in your words. Who motivated you mostly? Like mom and dad? Sorry.
To be honest, both of them motivated me to do what I want to do and they like the fact that I like cricket a lot. First, it was my parents who first motivated me to do a channel. To be honest, it was not my idea. It was their idea and I went on with the idea and I liked it. And I have got a good response. They've supported me all the way. They've been helping me promote the channel and everything. And they've been trying to get me opportunities to at least share my knowledge to the world at least. So they both are my both biggest supporters. So that's it.
That's very nice. And now that India finished the tour of Sri Lanka, so what's your opinion?
Well, I think it's a successful tour, knowing that's a second string side, and it was Sri Lanka's main side. Basically, India did not have their main A side players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Bumrah, KL Rahul, Shami, and many more. So, regarding knowing that Shikhar Dhawan is the captain, who's not been having in the past years, he's not known for being a great captain. Even he doesn't captain his own IPL franchise. Directly captaining the national side, he's gotten the captain due to experience, and I think it paid off because in the ODI series he's also been putting in good form, and then you have good players like Prithvi Shaw, and we have Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan. We found new players now. They can even be promoted to the senior team. But now in the T20 series, obviously we won the first match with the main squad, but unfortunately Krunal Pandya tested positive for coronavirus. So many main players have been in isolation due to that. So India had 11 players left as an option. So they had to use all the 11 players. The unfortunate part about that is the 6 frontline bowlers and only 5 batsmen. In a game, you minimum it's always required to only have 4 frontline bowlers or 1 all-rounder or 2 all-rounders, and rest all batsmen, wicketkeeper. But unfortunately, you have 6 bowlers. And surprisingly, Bhuvneshwar Kumar was coming number 4 for batting. You would never expect him to come number 4 for batting. So obviously in the batting, we lost both the matches. We didn't get high scores. We got low scores. Our bowling, actually, I felt the plus side in the T20 series was our bowling has improved. We can see scope in the Indian bowling for young bowlers. You can see so many young bowlers like Chetan Sakaria, Varun Chakravarti, and Sandeep Warrior. Many more other players like Deepak Chahar as well. So many people have had successful tour. So the ODI series was won by India and the T20 series was won by Sri Lanka. If India had their players who were out of isolation, then they probably would have won this T20 series as well, as my guess.
That's good to know, Advait. And the players who played against Sri Lanka, are they selected for the World Cup?
Well, it depends. Not all players are going to be selected because you have many people. First of all, the Indian captain didn't even play this in Sri Lanka. He's in England right now training to play against England in the Test series. So if you see the players in who played in Sri Lanka, the ones who I think will guaranteed be selected are first of all the frontliners, the normal white ball players. Like you have Shikhar Dhawan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Hardik Pandya, Chahal, and Kuldeep Yadav. Maybe not Kuldeep Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal, and everyone else. So they're definitely going to be selected because they were always in the white ball lineup. For the people who've been coming new to the white ball lineup, I think they're going to consider Varun Chakravarti. They'll consider Surya Kumar Yadav, Prithvi Shaw, Ishan Kishan definitely. Maybe Sanju Samson. I'm not sure if they'll select Devdutt Padikkal yet, but people would be happy if he comes into the mix. And they might select T. Natarajan if he has a good IPL performance. Unfortunately, he couldn't play in this series due to an injury. And other players, Ruturaj Gaikwad can be into consideration, but I can't guarantee his spot. Even Chetan Sakaria, he's actually had a good series and he's had a good tour overall. But the scope of him being selected is very low. Navdeep Saini also, he's had a good run in the previous season of the IPL, not this current season of IPL. But unfortunately, I don't think he has a chance as well. Whereas the rest of the players, the ones in England, you have obviously Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Bumrah, Shami, Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar. There might be more players, but as far as I know, I think these are the only players who are in England right now.
So Advait, in your opinion, who will play the first match?
So in the first match against England, I think a formidable lineup would be first, obviously, our openers, Rohit Sharma. And unfortunately, Shubman Gill has been injured. He went back to India. So I think KL Rahul would be a good option because he's been showing good results in the practice match against the County 11 and in the inter-squad match. He scored hundreds in both the matches. So I think it's a good opportunity to put KL Rahul opening up with Rohit Sharma, just like they do in the T20s. And one down, we have the wall, Cheteshwar Pujara, obviously, to put him in. He's as important as the next person coming in, Virat Kohli, the captain. And obviously after that, you have the vice captain, Ajinkya Rahane, who is a formidable batter, an amazing batsman. And then you have Rishabh Pant, dynamite. It's a pocket dynamite, Rishabh Pant. And he's one of the fastest growing players I've seen so far in the over years. In 2 years, I've been following him around. I've been enjoying his cricket. It's fun watching him. And Test cricket is not a sport people usually like to watch all the time. But when you have Rishabh Pant batting, it's always fun to watch him. And as a wicketkeeper, he's been improving heavily, especially. He's learning from the best, one of the best, like MS Dhoni, Ridhiman Saha. Even Saha has mentioned that he's a quick learner. He's become, from a junior, he's becoming a senior now, Rishabh Pant. And then after that, it's a debate between Hanuma Vihari and Ravindra Jadeja. But for the first match, I would put Ravindra Jadeja. And if it doesn't work out, obviously from the next matches onwards, I would put our local boy Hanuma Vihari from Andhra Pradesh. So after Jadeja, I would put R. Ashwin, who's been showing great form, especially in the local test matches within England, playing for counties. And he's been showing formidable form, especially spinning wickets in England. The wickets in England barely spin. And he is a great spinner. And on tracks like that, he can help India win. And then as our three frontline bowlers, I think putting Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, and Mohammad Shami played very good in the World Test Championship finals. And this series is very important for India, especially after the loss from the World Test Championship finals. And if they win this series, is a great turn, because last series against England in England, they have lost. And this is a 5-match series in England. And the pitches favor England. And it's rainy season in England. And when it rains, India cannot play. I've seen so many times that India do not do well when the pitch rains. But sometimes they have done. So I think the whole scenario is favorable to England. But a good thing for India, positive sign, is that England recently lost their series against New Zealand in England. So they lost in home turf against New Zealand. So it's a good sign for India that they don't have that restraining confidence. Even India don't have that confidence, especially after losing the World Test Championship final. But they did beat England this year in India.
So in India versus England, who are the players to watch out?
Well, there are a lot of players right now in both teams. So for India, we have our formidable players. I think Virat Kohli is one to watch out for. He has a great record in England. And this is a very important series for him, because in the previous series, he's only scored more than 50. He's never reached that 100. It's almost been almost 2 years since the man has scored a century for himself in any of the formats. And that's too long for a good player like him. So I think this is a series which will be important for him, and which will be a good series for him, I feel. He's going to play very well, and he has a good record in England. Another player who I think will have a good series is KL Rahul, because I'm 100% confident that they're going to play him in the first match, replacing Shubman Gill, because he's injured, unfortunately. And KL Rahul is in superb form. And as I know, he had a good run in the England series last time. So KL Rahul would have a good series as well. And another player from England to watch out for, Joe Root, is very good at home surface. And home turf especially, Joe Root knows everything about it. He's a very smart captain, and he knows what to do for England. Another player I'll be watching out for in England is Rory Burns, because Rory Burns has been doing amazing in the previous series against New Zealand. Unfortunately, in India, he couldn't do that well, but he has a very good record at home, Rory Burns, in England. So he's a formidable opener, and if he goes on, then it'll be tough for India to stop him. And if you see in bowlers, Jimmy Anderson is not a huge threat, but still, with his experience, he can have a good tour, say a good series against India, and he can pick up so many wickets. So I think he's a player to look out for. One more player in India, Mohammad Shami. He's taken a long break from Test cricket. In Australia, he only played the first Test match. He missed out on the whole England series in India. His first match back in World Test Championship final, he was amazing with the ball, with 3-wicket hauls and like that. And the length and line he bowls, straightens up the ball, swinging away here and that. He is a very smart bowler, and I think he would pick up the most wickets in this series, apart from Ravichandran Ashwin.
So Advait, what do you think the effect of senior bowlers in this match?
So the senior bowlers such as Jimmy Anderson, who's almost at the age of 40, and he's still playing the longest format of the game, 90 overs per day across 5 days. And being a bowler at that age and doing terrific for your country is actually an honor. And the effect he would have on the game for India against England is heavy. That's the reason they keep him in the squad, because he's a pace bowler. And now with his new style of bowling, he's covering up his hands. So the batsmen do not know what kind of ball he's going to bowl. He'll be very unpredictable to play. So I think he's the only bowler, whereas in India, Ravichandran Ashwin is also a senior bowler. He's been playing for such a long time. He's an all-rounder. He's not that well known to do good with the bat, but at some points he does very well with the bat, but not very consistently. But I think this time with the bat in England, he can be very effective, because you've seen what he did against the same team in India. So he knows how the bowlers play and how the batsmen are. So, and especially if you see the side of England, they have so many left-handers, and Ravichandran Ashwin plays very good against left-handers. He knows how to bowl against them, so he would have a lot of effect for the Indian side against England. So I think Ravichandran Ashwin and Jimmy Anderson, both senior players, would have a great effect in this tour.
So what's your prediction of this series? Who's gonna win?
So it's a 5-match series, obviously, and it all favors England. So I'm not going to go saying India is definitely going to win. India will easily win 5-0, nothing like that. To be practical, I think it's a chance for both. The chances of England winning are higher, but I think India will take the edge, but not by a huge margin. I think there will be a match tied for sure, and England will win the first match because India did not perform in the first match, as I've noticed. If you see in Australia, they did not do good against Adelaide. In England, they did not do good against them in the first match. So in this first match, I think they're not going to go on the top because it'll take time for them to analyze the players, the pitch. They're a very time-taking side. So I think from second match onwards, they'll strike. And the third match, so second match will go to India. Third match, I think it's going to be a draw because both the teams are at their prime. So fourth match, it might go to England, I feel. And then fifth match, it might go to India. Then England might retain the series, I feel. So it's going to be 2-all series. And then England might retain the series. The chances of India winning are there. But it's a hard task because if they want to at least retain this, it's hard for them to retain the series because England has won the last series. So this is how it works. If they win the previous series in England, then India, so they will be the ones retaining the series because even though if the series is drawn. So India need to win 3 matches to win the whole series. And that's a tough task, and especially in England's home turf and in a rainy season especially. So I think via the series being drawn, it'll go to England as retention. But I don't think England will fully win the series in a proper manner against India.
That's a very good guess, Advait. And we can see how much you dedicated to cricket and how much you love cricket. And so many people here in USA loves cricket. And do you have any suggestion to them, or else, do you have any, how to build their interest and how to get them on work?
Well, the thing is that in cricket, so in US, first of all, you have sports like basketball, soccer, and football. So to get cricket within the country is hard. So main thing is that we need the facilities here, the coaching staff, the players. We need the talent first. And we need people who have the scope and who have the passion for cricket. So the main thing to do is if you're one of the people who love cricket, who want to play cricket, tell your friends, even the Americans especially, tell everyone, teach them the sport of cricket. Once they get interested, it'll spread around the country. And that's how these sports like basketball, football, and soccer, you know these sports via friends. And you learn how to play them via coaching. So once the name of the sport goes around the country, it's known. Because I don't even think 50% of the population know that there's even a sport called cricket in this country. But still, at the end of the day, for the sport to be well known around and well played in USA, it's the people who have to share it with one another and teach them the sport. And the facilities and the US government and the US Sports Academy should facilitate on this and should enforce on cricket in USA.
That's very nice. Such a good suggestion, Advait. And thank you so much, Advait, for coming TV Asia studio and sharing your wonderful analysis and experience, and the way you're doing is wonderful. Keep rocking, and I will subscribe your YouTube channel too.
Thank you so much.
Whoever is watching, please subscribe to Advait channel.
Yeah, it's called Advait the Fourth Empire.